Buenos dias, internet bikers. Today we're doing a first ride impression. It's a test ride from the official Kawasaki dealer here in Madrid, Spain, of the Kawasaki. Oh, I think I can turn here. Yeah, of the Kawasaki Z650 RS. It is a very basic, classic type of a motorcycle. It has a very basic setup. I mean, this is as far away from motorcycle technology that you can get in a new motorcycle from a good brand right now. So what is this motorcycle? As we said, it's a 650, so 640 something cubic centimeter engine with a 180 degree crankshaft, which is a very old engine, I might say. This engine was actually first unveiled by Kawasaki in 2005 in the E6 or ER6N or something like that, and ER6F. So they were the naked and faired versions of this first iteration of the engine. Currently, it's been, that was 2005. So this engine has been around. Okay. So we have 6 gears, pretty cool. This engine has been around for almost 20 years now. That means it's a little bit outdated. It is so outdated that in fact it's probably the only engine of this category that still has a 180 degree crankshaft instead of 270 degree like all the other brands. But still, that doesn't mean it's a bad engine at all. It's been around for so long that Kawasaki has even licensed it away to Chinese brands. They licensed it to CF Moto, and then CF Moto started building their 650 motorcycles with the same engine, and it was also successful for CF Moto, even though they moved over from the Kawasaki engine to the KTM engines now. But at the same time, since they still have the licensing deal or the rights, they continue to build the 650 engine for other brands. So now the Moto Morini 650 motorcycles, and there's 3 of them, they have the same engine base. It's not exactly the same engine, it's just the blueprints. That's why the CF Moto 650s and the Moto Morini 650s also have a 180 degree crankshaft, because they are derived from this engine right here that we have in the Kawasaki 650s since 2005, and that you can currently get in all the 650 range from Kawasaki. So this is the Z650 RS, but you can also get it in the base Z650, which is the more modern looking version of it. And you can also get it in the Ninja 650, the Versys 650, and the Kawasaki Vulcan S. But the Vulcan S is the only one that you can get with this engine that doesn't say 650 on it, but it is still the same engine. I think that many people consider the Yamaha XSR 700 and maybe even the Triumph Trident 660 as competitors for this bike. I wouldn't be so sure. Yeah, of course they are competitors. They're more or less in the same, they're in exactly the same price range actually. And I can really see the case for that from the Yamaha. They are both Japanese brands. But I think that the XSR is more modern looking than this bike. So that makes it different. I think it has a slightly different fan base or customer base. So I'm not exactly sure that they are the same competitors. I would honestly, if I'm looking at competitors for this bike, it's not about performance, right? This bike is all about style for me. Hey, yeah, this is fun. This is good. I know many people say bad things about this engine. They say that it's a boring or underwhelming engine. I don't honestly see it. I think it's fun. I think it's a nice platform. a nice fun engine, and I mean it pulls. In theory, oh yeah, I was yeah, sorry, that pull right there got me a little bit sidetracked. I was talking about the competition, so the alternatives. Now, I don't think. I mean, style-wise, I think that the alternatives are not necessarily the XSR 700 or the Trident. I think it's more the Royal Enfield Interceptor 650. I think that's the real competitor because it undercuts the price and the looks are very similar and also very stylish. I would say another competitor would be the Triumph 900 range, right? So the Triumph, I think it's called the Speed 900. They've been changing those names around, but I think it's the Triumph Speed or the Street 900. I don't remember. I'll put it up on screen. So, but I think that that's a more true competitor to this bike based on looks. And then there's the Moto Guzzi V7. The V7, both the Stone and the Special. And they are a little bit, both the Triumph and the Moto Guzzi are a little bit above the price range for this bike. But I think that in look and feel, they are very similar. Same as the Interceptor. So for me, those are the true alternatives to this motorcycle, more than the Yamaha and the Triumph Trident. I would go for the Triumph 900s or the Moto Guzzi. The difference, of course, is that this bike has 67 horsepower and 64 Newton meters of torque, making it much more powerful than the Interceptor, and also making it a little bit, I think it's on par with the Moto Guzzi, but less powerful than the Triumph 900s. So that would be the competitors for me. I think this bike makes a pretty good case for itself because I think that the Kawasaki build quality is on par with the best. And I think the best in this category, the best is Triumph. But I don't think that Kawasaki has anything to envy from Triumph. I think the build quality in Kawasaki is just as good as Triumph. So, and that's another interesting thing, that Kawasaki is probably the only Japanese brand that has true competitive motorcycles for the classic style to Triumph, right? It's very similar. I mean, the RS range as well as the W800s are beautiful motorcycles. Nothing like this is available in the other Japanese brand. I gotta say, as far as power and responsiveness, I think that this bike is very similar to my mind, of course. Even though there's this crankshaft difference, I don't think that there's much difference between this and the Yamaha XSR 700, which I have also test ridden at some point. The sound is a little bit better in the Yamaha. I mean, that crankshaft does provide a different, more throaty sound, it has more bass to it. But this is cool. I like this one. Yeah, this is a fun little bike. I think it pulls pretty well, honestly. Yeah, fun little bike. Going back to the beginning of the video, I was talking about the lack of tech in this motorcycle. As you can see, there's just a basic tachometer. You can just see the rev counter, the speed meter, and that's about it, right? And then you have a little digital screen, and there's these 2 buttons to move up and down. They are only manipulating the bottom part of the digital screen. I don't know if you can see it properly, but yeah, they only manipulate the bottom part of the digital screen right here. Yeah, let's stop for a little bit and explain that. So the digital setup over here has these buttons right here. So you can see when I click on the buttons, it will just change the range, the average gas consumption. It tells me also trip A, trip B, and that's it. That's all it gives me. It doesn't give me anything more. The rest of the screen is standard, and it doesn't change at all. So you have a fuel gauge, you have a temperature gauge, you have the gear, and the traction control setting. I think that's what that means. It's traction control. Then the switch gears here are pretty basic. There's not really too much to it. It is absolutely basic. All right. So based on that, you can see that this is just a bare bones setting, and I think that that is one of the selling points, is that technology has maybe gone a little bit too far lately, and sometimes it's good to just have these options right here, where you don't really have to worry about tech. You just worry about riding. So when it comes to ergonomics, the seat height is it's a very standard height, 820 millimeters. So for me, I'm 100 centimeters, 173 centimeters. So that is, I think it's around 5'8". Let me stop again. So I'm 5'8", and what that means is that I can't fully flat foot the bike. I have easy control of it. I can put both feet down, but just to the balls of my feet. I can't completely flat foot it, but I am almost there. So the bike is a little bit, I mean, it's not as thin, but that's a good thing because the seat is very, very comfortable. I'm enjoying the seat. This is a very comfortable seat, and so the position is very, oh yeah, I think I have the right of way here. So that means that it is a very comfortable motorcycle with a very standard positioning and a very good, very plush seat. I think the seat is really good. I like the position. It's I mean, this is not a bike to ride around standing up, but the ergonomics allow you to stand up relatively easily. I think I'm starting to get the feeling that the bike is a little bit happier when you do high revs, right? It's happier when you're revving it up than it is when you're going in low revs. Yeah. I mean, unfortunately, I don't have enough time to ride out to the highway, but I think that this is going to be, except for the fact that there is no wind protection, I would expect this bike to be very, very confident riding in the highway. You can rev it a little bit high, and it'll give you good response. So it will handle itself quite well in the highway. I'm pretty sure of it. It has enough power for it, that's for sure. It only weighs 187 kilos, meaning it's a very light motorcycle. As far as braking, I haven't brake tested it too much, but I think it works pretty well. Yeah, it has a good brake balance. I mean, this is something that I say in almost every video or every time that I test ride a bike, is that motorcycle technology has come such a long way that even basic motorcycles right now, if you buy them new, they are just so well made. The quality is so good that I mean, sure, you're getting, maybe for this price range, you're getting a bike that has equivalent quality to the top motorcycle 30 years ago, but motorcycles 30 years ago were already pretty good. And that's something that I think we tend to forget, in this era where we have so much tech jammed down our throats lately. And And so yeah, I think it's important to keep that in mind. You don't need the absolute top, latest technological gadgets to have a good, safe, functional, powerful, entertaining motorcycle. And this one is proof of that. Woohoo! Yeah, this thing comes alive around 5,000 RPMs. It just comes alive. I am not doing what I should be doing, but hey, it's a test ride. How else am I going to test the bike if I don't do this? This is I mean, I've gotta be honest, this is the first time I ride this type of engine, or rather a Kawasaki with this engine. I had heard so much crap about it that I was fully expecting an underwhelming ride. But I mean, my experience couldn't be further from that. I think this is very, very exciting. I like this engine. Not everything has to be the latest tech, like I was saying. It doesn't have to be a 270-degree crankshaft for you to have a good time on a twin-cylinder engine. Wow, I'm enjoying it a lot more than I thought I would. Oh, hell yeah! Yep, that's where it wants to be, above 5,000 RPM. It doesn't, I mean, it doesn't really like the low revs that much. It's kind of falling asleep when you're doing the low revs. When you pull the high revs, yeah, it just lights up. So who is this bike for? I would say this bike is for someone who wants to commute on a good-looking motorcycle and doesn't want to break the bank for it, and is not interested in the latest gadgetry. Someone who just wants a safe, reliable motorcycle that is always gonna run, because that's also one of the good things about the Japanese brands, is that they're never gonna break. It's very unlikely that they will break, and even if they kind of break, they still run, and they will still get you to the repair shop. They will make it in one piece at least. So that's who they are for. Oh wow, that is fun. There were two things I wasn't able to test. Of course, the first one was the high speed on the highway, and the second one, due to the industrial area that I am riding on, is twisties. I mean, I am doing these roundabouts and all of that, but I'm not too confident in the motorcycle yet to do quick curves. But I think it has a pretty nice balance to it, so I'm not exactly worried. I wouldn't be worried about that. I think this is, wow, yeah, this is a great bike. I mean, I'm surprised and not surprised. I'm surprised that I am feeling so much enjoyment, that I'm getting so much enjoyment out of this bike, because of how many people on the internet, and that's why you have to test ride the bikes on your own. How many people, so many people on the internet say that this engine, this 650 Kawasaki engine, is such a bore. But I'm also not surprised, because this engine has been around for 20 years and it keeps selling successfully with so many different models. So now, what does this mean for me? What would I buy? I mean, if I was going to get a Kawasaki, would I contemplate the 650? Hell yeah, I think this is a great engine. I would try it. I'm more of a two-up rider. If you have seen at least a few of my videos, you might already know that. But I think that this bike is a single-seater. I mean, it looks pretty good for two-up riding, but I think this is honestly just a single-seater. I mean, that's where it's best for. But if I was gonna get a 650, I would probably contemplate, depending on what I need. If I need a single-seater, yeah, this is perfect. But if I need something to ride two-up, I wouldn't worry about having the 650 engine. I think that this 650 engine is capable of anything that you need within legal speed limits, and even above. So I would test ride if I was actually looking for a motorcycle for riding two up. I would seriously contemplate the Versys 650 as well as the Vulcan S. I think this engine is absolutely capable of riding two up. But for riding single, riding on your own as a, just by yourself, oh man, this bike is awesome. And I honestly prefer it to the modern naked motorcycle, the Z650, because I don't like all the angular looks. I prefer the classic. I mean, something with a little bit more character for me, and this fits the bill. This is a really good one. So yeah, that's it. We're back in Kawasaki, and I'm just gonna give the bike back. So hope you enjoyed it, and hasta luego.